Good morning. Again, Father Norm. And today, as you know, when you hear me often, I reflect on life experience and how it shaped me and how it shapes others and how the Lord God is in the midst of all of that. And 60 years ago, this very week, September 1965, I was a freshman at the University of Akron. And I was beginning my coursework in engineering. I also was somewhat disappointed because the previous spring I had done very well in math and I got a partial scholarship to Yale University. And I thought, wow, and I'm going to go to Yale University. It's a prestigious university, a good engineering school. I'm going to be able to get away from Akron, which I love, but still be in a whole new place, and I guess also be free to come and go as I wanted. I had a wonderful mom. We went at it a little bit about me in high school because I wanted to be more free and more independent. But so I thought, okay, here I'll be able to be that. As a lot of young people look forward to that. But then what happened was reality kicked in this way that as I started this process for going to Yale, I realized that I was going to get a good portion of tuition, almost all of it, but not room and board. And my mom's single parent raising me, we didn't have very much money. And so I recognized at first, I said, oh, I can do something about this. I can get the right kind of job this summer. I can make the kind of money and all that. But it didn't take long that spring to say, nah, it's not going to work. And so, yeah, I was a little disappointed. And even when starting at the University of Akron, I was like, well, I'm going to the University of Akron, which if it hadn't been that Yale invitation, I probably at least would have thought right away, oh, Akron's great and I'll be with my friends. But at least my initial coming, it changed dramatically quickly, thankfully. But my initial coming was disappointment. But then it was learning to let that go. All of us in life, we have certain plans, we get excited about this, maybe that's going to happen, maybe this person I'm dating, it's working out and then it's not, maybe there's some other job I'm going to get and I'm excited about that job and making more money and then I don't get it. Disappointments can come. And for some people, I know that disappointments, when I've shared with people, sometimes they can feel that way their whole life. They can feel when they're 75 that, gosh, at the beginning of life, I was going to go to this school or I was going to marry this young person or whatever it was, it didn't work out, and regretting. Many people can have regrets, and understandably, we are going to have regrets. Did I regret at least for a short period of time that I wasn't going to Yale? Sure. But then I got beyond it. And what helped me get beyond it, and also when I talk to other people who still focus so much on regret, is I really do believe that's a fundamental faith issue, spiritual issue. What do we believe about God? Do we believe, and this came that freshman year, this very week, I guess I should mention this. I decided to, at the University of Akron, I was going to take engineering, and then in addition to that, a friend of mine, a Catholic, invited me to come to the Newman Center, which was a Catholic student center, and there learn more about the Catholic faith. Really, at the very core, I'm Catholic, but at the core, Christian faith. I had grown up as a little kid believing in Jesus, but I'd gotten away from all of that. I hadn't, yeah, Jesus, it was good to hear about him, and he was quite a guy, and he was loving, and I got to be more loving, but that was it. But when I came to the Newman Center at that first week, and again, initial disappointment, but there I was pretty well over it and ready to jump into Akron because I had a lot of friends there. And engineering, okay, I'll see how it works. But even that wasn't working out. I did eventually major in engineering. But the key point within that first week at the Newman Center I ended up talking to a priest there. I've mentioned before, Father Tom Dunphy. He was 35 at the time, and he was in his second ministry assignment, and so I went there, and we began to talk. And he was asking me questions, which is good. I think sometimes we need somebody to help us take a deeper look in ourselves. And he basically saying, "What do you want to do?" "Well, I'm going to be an engineer." "Do you really want to be an engineer?" "Well, I'm not so sure." "What's important to your life?" "Why do you think you want to be an engineer?" "Well, I make good money. It's a prestigious position." He says to me, "Is that really important? Is that what matters most to you now?" And just the way he talked about that and challenged me with loving questions to go deeper in self-awareness and to go deeper into the spiritual reality. Where am I going to find meaning and purpose and spirit and energy and vitality and a way to show love, because God calls us to love? Where am I going to show that? Well, I ended up in conversation with him. I wasn't going to any church at the time. Eventually, talking to him, I did that winter at Christmas time become Catholic. And I recognized that the greatest learning I had that fall, yes, taking all the courses were very good, but the greatest learning I had at that fall time was that spiritual sense of what's it all about? What does life mean? What's the real direction I want to go in? And in that, from his questions and from his care, he showed me that the greatest learning of all was learning who I was as a beloved child of God and who God was and still is. Moving in my life in all kind of ways, in times of great joy, yeah, this was wonderful, and in times of disappointment or failure or regret, this God saying, "Hey, I'm with you in it all. I love you through it all. I'll bring good out of anything and everything that you've had, whatever disappointment. Trust that and look at life as gift, as blessing each day." And so, since 60 years ago, those first lessons are still with me. That's lifelong learning. My prayer for every one of us is whatever you've experienced in life, take another look. How can God be working through it? Not causing bad things to happen, but giving us a meaning and a hope and a joy through whatever goes on that is guaranteed. That's the best way to learn the path of love, and love as everyday and love as forever. God bless. Reflect on that learning.